try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your checkers, I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on the scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
Welcome, my fellow Americans. I'm Mike Jones. How you doing? Welcome to another episode. Today, we're talking about the judge situation. I was curious about it, so I watched a video from Benny. Benny has incredible videos, has awesome people on his show. Just wanted to learn some more about the judge situation. So, without further ado, let's just jump into the video. All right. Y'all ready for this?
Julie, what the hell's going on? Like Bose. Okay, I mean, I know we're gonna jump around here just a bit. So a DC district judge, Boasberg. I'm sure you know this guy. I'm sure you've seen him in action. Based on your extensive reporting in Washington D.C. on J6 cases, this guy's saying that I'm the president, I'm the commander in chief, and I can enjoin troop movements. I mean, effectively, what he's doing with these flights is saying, I'm in charge of the military now, and the president has to go to me to get his Article 2 powers. It's crazy.
So, of course, Benny, thanks to you, your viewers are not shocked by this egregious misconduct, almost lawless conduct by DC federal judges, because, of course, we've been talking about this for years and their handling of January 6 cases. Now, I was in Judge Boasberg's courtroom last December of 2024. He is the new chief judge. He's been in that capacity since mid-2023. Obama appointed chief judge now of the DC District Court. Benny, he refused to postpone the trial of a woman who went inside the Capitol for 9 minutes on January 6th, committed no violence, was charged with the common 4 misdemeanors that you and I have talked about. She wasn't accused of assaulting police, destroying property, anything like that. She asked to delay the trial until after the inauguration based on President Trump's pledge to pardon J6ers, especially people like this woman charged with only 4 misdemeanors. The chief judge of the DC District Court denied her motion to postpone the trial, put her on trial the week before Christmas before a DC jury in a city that had just voted 92% for Kamala Harris. Of course, she was convicted within a matter of a few hours. She was never sentenced. But what Boasberg said, like a lot of the other judges said in refusing to postpone either trials or sentencing hearings, is we don't care what the president says. He can make all these promises about pardons, but we are going to wait until after Inauguration Day. We have a judicial duty to carry out the legal process, judicial process, despite what the executive branch says. Okay, so now fast forward, Judge Boasberg going to the mat to defend Venezuelan illegal aliens suspected of ties to a Venezuelan gang that has been designated a foreign terrorist organization by the Trump administration, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Boasberg jumped into action on Saturday, issued 2 temporary restraining orders, and in this crazy hearing that he set for 5 o'clock Saturday evening, he demanded the return of any flights carrying these suspected terrorists to Honduras and then El Salvador.
Now, one, I don't understand why they're fighting so hard to keep criminals in the country. You would think that, hey, we have a crime problem. We have a problem of overflooded with gang members and criminals and rapes and murders and all kind of stuff. Like, why is this the hill this judge is willing to die on? I don't understand. I really don't.
then had this other hearing yesterday we can talk about. This is how power hungry, how unaccountable, how insulated these judges are. And we have some breaking news about a statement just made by Chief Justice John Roberts that should give no one any confidence that the Supreme Court is going to stop what's happening, especially in this DC federal courthouse. But this matter is ongoing. But imagine the Chief Judge of Washington, DC, ordering the Department of Justice at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. I don't care where these planes are, have them turn back and return suspected terrorists to the United States. Even I didn't see this coming, Benny. As bad as these judges are, even I didn't see this level of depravity coming out of these DC judges.
So in tweet form, which is the only thing that we're really good at this show, this son of a bitch tortured J6ers, innocent J6ers who did nothing and did not behave criminally.
Right.
So right from the jump, the guy's got something against President Trump. He's got something against anything Trump stands for, anything Trump wants. I just don't understand how he has the power to do this and why anything ordered by the president would have to even recognize this. And I guess that's where I'm kind of lost. It seems like that judge shouldn't have the power to override the president, and let alone sit there and ask to turn a plane around full of criminals and bring them back. I mean, it takes a lot of security setup and stuff to get that stuff accomplished. Like, and then you want to bring all these criminals back. I don't know.
Trespassed. And have thrown the book at them. And now he is doing everything he can to protect criminal alien terrorists on our soil and to bring them back to our soil. So, did I get that right?
Yep.
That's absolutely correct.
That's
to bring
the
them
balance
back
here. This is the balance of judgment in this courthouse.
That is.
Okay,
that is.
good.
Now, Bossberg, as I've written, handled about 70 J6 cases. He threw, to your point, even American citizens convicted, either pleaded guilty or convicted by a DC jury of the most low-level petty offense, like parading in the Capitol, threw them in federal prison on that. Now, there was one J6er, Benny, that Judge Bossberg didn't throw the book at, that he demonstrated deep level of sympathy for, and that was Ray Epps.
Oh, I knew it was coming. This is why you know what? We have the singularity, Julie. We have the singularity. I love it when Julie's on the program because I knew it was coming.
You know it was coming.
That's unbelievable. So this is the guy that let Ray Epps off.
And not only did he let off Ray Epps, Benny, and I posted this, I actually had bought the transcript of the sentencing hearing last year, and I just dug it up. Not only did he only give Ray Epps probation, he expressed all sort of sympathy for Ray Epps, how he was a victim of so-called conspiracy theories. But more importantly, and I just posted this on X, he called January 6th an insurrection incited by Trump supporters. None of these judges should be presiding over any lawsuit related to the Trump administration.
Now they're talking about January 6th, but what are they doing about the Democrats and leftists out there promoting all the Tesla violence, all the Elon violence, all the just name calling, slander, and just it's disgusting. If Trump or anybody from his side were to do this, like the Democrats would be having a field day. They would tear him down, make him a monster. And you know it's true. And it's kind of just crazy because all these things are coming to light. All these things that people are seeing that the Democrats are doing, how they act, how they project themselves. And, you know, I think a lot of them are worried about getting caught up. I mean, the Doge thing could be criminal at some point once they get down to the nitty gritty and get all those details and find out who's involved with what and the money situation. So it seems like these judges, I think there's a handful of them that they're willing to sit there and fight Trump on everything just so he can't get his agenda done. And then they sit there and they'll take, oh, he didn't get his agenda done. He didn't do what he said he would do. Yeah, because you aren't allowing him to do what he's trying to do. And which is crazy because I don't even believe that that judge has any authority over the president's order. So it's kind of crazy that this is even being, I don't know, it's even being played with like this. With
exception of maybe 2 or 3, every single DC district court judge has on multiple occasions expressed their contempt for Donald Trump and his supporters. They should be immediately disqualified. Now, of course, you can move you can ask to disqualify those judges for them to recuse. Yesterday, the DOJ did ask the clerk of the DC Appellate Court to remove Judge Boasberg from this case and assign it to another judge. What judge? They're all going to do the same thing he is.
Yep.
It's a nice motion. It's a nice attempt, but it's hard. You're not going to get an improvement in that courthouse.
So just
So
go to
this is what the
Supreme
Trump
Court.
administration, this DOJ has been inundated with these not just ridiculous lawsuits, but also this egregious, unconstitutional overreach by federal judges, of course, not just in Washington, but other jurisdictions as well.
So that's the tweet version. I wanted to get to that because
I hope so.
J6 versus criminal aliens, murderers, terrorists, and rapists. Like, I think that's an important issue to cement. And then let's move down the line to a grander scale, which is the Constitution itself.
Mhm.
And in what universe does a judge have the power to interdict on Article 2 of the Constitution? You'd assume that John Roberts, that the conservative court, if you're being generous, is a 6-3 court in favor of people who care about the Constitution. You would assume that they would deeply and abidingly protect the powers that are given and bestowed and vested into the president. The first of which, of course, is going to be a commander-in-chief powers to protect the homeland and to expel invasion.
Right.
This is, of course, an invasion, and the Foreign Enemies Act establishes that quite clearly. The founders of our country created the Foreign Enemies Act for this exact power.
Right.
I don't think it's ever been challenged in court before because it's not subject to judicial review. So how the hell is it being reviewed? How is this even happening? I wonder.
Yeah. That's
Well, here's really a big problem for Judge Boasberg in general, and that is he has never addressed his beef with President Trump's proclamation that was signed on Friday and then posted on Saturday, invoking this Alien Enemies Act, declaring again that TDA, this Trinidad Aragua gang, is a foreign terrorist organization, that it is supported by the Maduro regime, that it is a dangerous operation, that thousands of these gang members have been flooded into the United States illegally, and they pose a
Yeah, and this is what these Democrats and these judges now are. This is what they want. Like, you're a judge, you're supposed to be for law and order, not allowing criminals to be in the U.S. or even fighting for them to be in the U.S. Like, that just makes you feel like he doesn't give a shit about the people. It's honestly sickening. These Democrats. I was a little soft last episode. I was pretty nice. I was trying to say, like, why can't we all just get along, so to speak, and be friendly? But, the more this goes on, the more it's just like literally becoming left versus right. And it's sickening what Democrats are doing. It's sick.
sincere, and we've seen this already, a serious national security and safety threat. So Judge Boasberg has never demonstrated why he believes that President Trump's proclamation invoking this Alien Enemies Act is unconstitutional or illegal, or even, to your point, subjected to judicial review. This is all a power struggle, and this is what we
Look at this dude. You see those eyes? Like, he just, if ever there was an alien hiding on the planet Earth, it would be this dude. Just look at him. He got those serial killer looking eyes.
we've seen repeatedly and playing out over and over in courtrooms, a power struggle between unelected lifer judges on the federal bench, somehow making their case that their authority supersedes the president. That's all that this has been about. And not only did he do that on Saturday, but yesterday, the hearing that I covered, and you probably saw my coverage on X in real time, demanding what the DOJ and Trump administration rightfully argues are national security secrets that are covered by foreign military and diplomatic protections for the president, but demanding that they disclose details about these flights. How many people were on these flights? What time did they take off? What time did they land? What countries did they go to? When were they taken into custody in these?
Now, please tell me how that's any of his damn business. Why does he need to know any of that? Who is he? He's a judge, a federal judge, big whoopee, but who is he to request classified or have classified information? He's a judge. You're there to judge over people that come into your court, judge over cases that come across your desk. Who the hell are you?
Various countries. aside from the fact he thought he could order planes filled with terrorists back to the United States, on what basis is he entitled to even that sort of protected information? So the DOJ, and I did post this just before I went on with you, people can see the DOJ's response to Judge Boasberg demanding answers to those questions. But we should, in the interim, read what Chief Justice John Roberts just said in a statement, if you want me to read that verbatim.
Yeah, we'll pop it up right now. Here we go.
So this is in response to President Trump and others calling for the impeachment of Judge Boasberg. I believe Representative Brandon Gill just filed those articles. And here he says, for more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. This is not a judicial disagreement.
Yeah, for real.
Furthermore, as we know, the Supreme Court has completely turned a blind eye to all of this lawfare against the president, refusing to step in, even in that outlandish U.S. aid case, the $2 billion that one judge tried to order the administration to disperse. But you can even see here by what Chief Justice says, he still gives all the control to the judiciary. So, but this is not a judicial disagreement. This is a constitutional crisis that has been created by the federal bench and the judges right under his nose in the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. So this is a very troubling statement indicating once again that the Supreme Court, especially Chief Justice John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, who refused to get involved in that case I was just discussing, that there's going to be any relief for the administration or the American people. And this will only embolden the judges to continue accelerating their bad behavior.
And this is everything that's going on, like with the Tesla stuff and the judge stuff. They're just going to keep doing it until somebody puts a stop to it, because like, who are these people to overreach the president's power? They're not above the president. The president's making decisions to save our country. Like, I don't understand trying to stand up for criminals, gang members, MS-13, El Tren de Agua, whatever the hell they are called, Tren de Agua, whatever. And I don't want them people in my country. I don't want them people in our country. I want people to be safe. I don't want them people around here worrying about my daughter or my son or my wife or anything like that. Like, it's crazy. I don't understand how some people are out there on these guys' side, the judges' side, on the Democrats' side. It's insane. Do you guys watch anything? Do you guys try to learn the truth about anything, or do you just believe the nonsense that the Democrats and these left-wing extremists spew out of their dirty, disgusting fucking mouths? I mean, you want to sit there and fight for these people, but do you really know the truth? Do you really know what's going on? I don't know. Either way, I can't see how anybody would want 261 gangbangers and El Salvador and El de Agua or whatever, Tren de Agua gang members up in this piece.
When it comes to trying to overturn the president's authority.
Yeah, somebody needs to smash down upon constitutional lines, because there's way too much of a ninja blender going on right now, and the Constitution being fed into it. And it's just mixing too much for us. We're no scholars. We didn't go to law school, Julie. We went to community college. But even I know my separation of powers. And if a president, I mean, the equivalent to this, am I wrong here? Tell me if I'm wrong, please. But the equivalent of this would be the president of the United States, duly elected, picking up a gavel, deciding to wear black one day, like I do every day, and going, actually, I've decided to rule on behalf of the judge. And I'm a judge now. And so I'm going to decide in the judiciary what's going on. It seems so egregiously intrusive into the powers of the presidency, much as if a president tried to play a judge in the Oval Office and declare things, right, with a little hammer. People would say that's absurdist. It's obviously a desecration to the separation of powers. Am I correct in that metaphor?
I believe you are correct, even though you went to community college. It appears that you did pay attention during your Constitution class. Good for you, Benny. And I went to public college, EIU, Eastern Illinois. So, but we are still smart enough to figure all this out, and we are obligated to figure all this out because we're American citizens. This is our country. We pay taxes, and we have a right to look at all of this and figure out what is going on. But furthermore, so yes, this is a very good hypothetical that you just presented. But look, these judges have been off the hook. Justice Roberts is wrong. It is not 2 centuries that have established impeachment is not an appropriate response. It is 2 centuries of Congress willfully abdicating their oversight role of the federal judiciary with a few exceptions. I think the last time a federal judge was impeached was 30 years ago. They've completely abdicated their role. That's why these judges are justified in viewing themselves as impervious, as omnipotent, unaccountable, because they have that. And look, I've been on your show for years. We have talked about these judges ad nauseum and specific judges who should be impeached, starting with, I believe, Boasberg's predecessor, Beryl Howell. But Congress had no appetite for it. They're not even cutting off funding to the federal court system in Washington, D.C. So we've gotten so far past the point of accountability. So it's not that impeachment has been used, but used.
Yeah, they're getting used. They're so used to being able to do as they fucking please, and it's ridiculous. Doing what they want. Who knows? They're ruining. It seems like they have no bias. If they like you, you're good. You're golden. But if they don't like you, whether you did anything or not, like that lady on January 6th who got charged with misdemeanors and stuff that could have just been thrown out. It's sick to see the favoritism and the biasness, and it shouldn't be like that. You're on the bench to serve the people, and when you start playing favoritisms and stuff like that, I don't know. I say impeach them all. Teach these mofos a lesson. They'll be less likely to do it. Make an example out of 1, maybe 2 if you have to, and that way maybe these judges won't act a fool, because this guy obviously has no right to sit there and request classified information, tell the president he needs to turn the planes around. Like, they set that whole operation up. That's very dangerous to do that while they're in the middle of an operation. And you had a problem with it, wait till it was done and whatnot. And, oh, you better turn that plane around. Shut the fuck up. Who are you? Who are you? If I was President Trump, I would have started cracking my ass up. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Know your role, bitches.
Used cautiously. It hasn't been used at all. And so it is encouraging to see the president call for that and others, and now House Republicans who are actually moving forward with this. Now, Benny, where's this going to go? House Judiciary, okay, you can get an impeachment. It goes to the Senate. You're not going to get 2/3. But the process in and of itself will send a message that this simply will not be tolerated.
Right.
I mean, the way the map's working out. I mean, if you're very lucky at the casino, the way the map's working out for Republicans in the Senate, you could get 65 that have no.
2 of those offices, at least the DC U.S. Attorney and Washington FBI, have gotten rid of some really bad actors and are under new leadership. That's not the case here in the federal court system. No political case should be handled in that courthouse because all of the judges are compromised. We are seeing people reporting on this. I believe Laura Loomer and others have reported on the conflicts between Judge Boasberg and his wife and his sister, and I believe his daughter. They are find out what is disclosed.
Sorry.
Well, I call this the circle of hell because all of the judges are compromised. We are seeing people reporting on this. I believe Laura Loomer and others have reported on the conflicts between Judge Boasberg and his wife and his sister, and I believe his daughter. They are all Democrat political activists. We have seen this with other judges. I mean, you see.
So we're going to end it right there, but pretty much his family members, this judge's family members are political activists. How? I think that's a conflict of interest to be a judge and have 3 of your daughter, your wife, and your sister all being political activists. Isn't that a little bit of a conflict of interest? I mean, I don't know. Some to think about, people, but there you go. I mean, I was a little confused on the judge situation. I still a little am. I'm going to have to look into it a little more, but I don't see how he has any ruling over President Trump. I don't see how he can sit there and tell him to do anything. He's the president. He makes these decisions. He's enacting the alien law, and it's an old law. And a lot of times these laws that are older, they're stood the test of time is because they're good laws. And President Trump has the right to do what he wants. That's anything within his power. And he's trying to protect the people. He's trying to make our streets safe. So I don't get the problem here. It'd be one thing if he was importing gangbangers and terrorists and dropping them off in cities, but he's not. He's trying to clean up the streets. I don't know. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for joining me on My Fellow Americans. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Please remember, hit that like button. Try to stay to the end. It really helps with the algorithm. Share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. And shout out to Benny. He has a great show. You learn a lot on watching Benny's show. Check him out. Stop over at the Benny Show. Tell him Mike Jones sent you. Till next time, God bless America. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.